Good evening. This is Cab, here to drive you crazy. And of course, I got in my arms a very sleepy Miss Cabby. But this is going to be Boston Sports Talk number 10. And as you can see, I'm not in my actual room, so please bear with me. I don't have the proper setup that I normally do, so you might hear some extra clicks just because I need to go from my normal computer instead of the side computer that I have my information on. But we'll just jump straight into it with the Boston Bruins, who are finishing up third in the East and had already their first game in the playoffs against the Washington Capitals with an unfortunate loss of 3-2 in overtime. And I say it's a very unfortunate loss because of how the final goal was basically scored. You know, a little puck trickling past Tuukka Rask and ultimately giving up the goal about 4 to 5 minutes into the period. So it is, again, just one of those things. I'm not going to even go out of my way to blame Tuukka Rask for this one. There's a lot of times where bad goals are done. Obviously, when it's playoff times, that's when you're supposed to be the sharpest and be able to perform at a higher level. But at the same time, it does happen to even the best of them. The reason why I am not going to put my blame on Tuukka Rask, though, is very simply because of the fact that, you know, after the first period where the goalie of Washington ultimately had a injury that gave up the Bruins tying goal to really start off on that period, really put a further implication that a third string goalie was in that entire game after that point, and only Bruins got one more goal off of that. So to me, that was really just a bad offensive game. I'm not going to put all that blame onto Tuukka Rask, especially when he did as good as what he was supposed to. It was a very unfortunate, way for that game to finish, but we do have a few more games to go through, and that's why I'm not going to put that much consideration into it. So by the next time that the next video that gets posted, we can see either if we are advancing and going on to see who we're going to be playing against next, or obviously it might be like the last games of the series, or the season might be over by that point. So for the next one, we have obviously the Boston Celtics, who finished off 7th in the Eastern Conference at a 500 of 36-36, and will now have to be in a part of the play-in playoff games, who will be up against the Washington Wizards. It was, again, one of those things that I mentioned from the last video. We had two bad teams and then a team that was a playoff team, and we lost to one of those bad teams. We had a good win against one of those bad teams, but then at the same time, we still only lost by 4 to a playoff team, which is why this team is just so weirdly inconsistent. And I know we can always say the very bad factor of Jaylen Brown being out for the rest of the season, them wanting to rest Kemba Walker, Robert Williams III still being out, and really this whole team having to be, revolved around Jason Tatum really being the main guy, being the point scorer, being the distributor. And unfortunately, it is going to take a toll on the Celtics, who don't have enough support to really be able to continue and further on what is necessary for them to do. So ultimately, I would like to hopefully see the Celtics do good come against the Wizards. The Wizards has been a team that has been a back and forth because of just how the season has been. It is a shorter season, but if the Celtics don't really do anything good for this upcoming game, they still do have one more opportunity to at least try to get back into this. But it really, really shows that if the Celtics are going to continuously do this poor set of games, and obviously without the true help from all the other team players contributing, I really don't know how far the Celtics will go into this postseason. The next one is the Boston Red Sox, who, as of today, still hold the best record, just in front of the Oakland Athletics, but at the exact same time with a loss today against the Angels. But that one was quite an interesting way for this game to have finished, because Angels got ahead, by 4 runs early, and then the Red Sox were able to get 1 run and then another 4 runs later on. And unfortunately, Matt Barnes having his first blown save opportunity for giving up the 2-run home run to Ohtani. And of course, when it comes to Ohtani, it's really hard to do any kind of comparisons with a two-way player like him, who is just a beast on the mound, who's a beast at hitting. We got lucky to know we didn't have to have him pitching, but he came in as a hitter, and that was ultimately what was necessary for the Angels to get by without the Red Sox having an opportunity to do anything else come to the bottom of the 9th. But still no worries on it. We still are a few games ahead of anyone else in the division right now, and of course with our next series going to be against the Toronto Blue Jays. That one is always going to be a very important one for us. So we're looking forward to these up and coming games with the Blue Jays, so that way we can continue on. And again, season is still very early. We only went through not even, I would probably say, a quarter. We're still like an eighth of the way, really, a little past an eighth of the way. So Red Sox still have a lot to prove that they can still be great. Alexander Bogaerts, JD Martinez being absolute powerhouses right now. Obviously, the pitching is still pretty good, even though Nathan Eovaldi and Eduardo had lost their games against the Oakland Athletics. That was really kind of a nail-biter in itself to know that our 2 best pitchers did get losses in those competitions. So it is what it is, but until then, we'll see how far else and what else will happen with these Red Sox. And then, of course, lastly, we'll just finish it off with the Patriots. I did do this video a little bit earlier in a couple of days ago, I should actually say. But I'm just going to recap on what I had mentioned and then actually give a few new intakes on it. So, obviously, we have the preseason, and the preseason is everyone in the NFC East, basically, except for the Cowboys. So Washington football team, the Giants, as well as the Eagles. So I don't put too much concern on preseason, because we'll still be figuring all that out. Who comes down to the final cuts and all that. But just to go over really quick on the recap, Dolphins at Patriots. I look at the Patriots winning that. Patriots at Jets. I look at the Patriots winning that one. The New Orleans Saints at Patriots. I look to see that it's going to be a Patriots win, even though Saints have always been an interesting team. It seems quite weird without Drew Brees, but it is what it is. Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New England Patriots, the biggest game of the season. Tickets are crazy expensive if you ever want to watch this one. And I'm honestly going to just look at that one as a Patriots loss. At the Houston Texans, I look at the Patriots winning. Cowboys at Patriots, I look at the Patriots having a good game against them, but I will say that the Patriots should win this game. Jets at Patriots, I believe the Patriots will win. At the Chargers, I say that the Chargers will win this game. At the Panthers, the first game of Cam Newton being back at Carolina, I don't see Cam wanting to lose this game for any reason. He will do everything in his power to make sure that he will take the win on this game. Cleveland Browns at the Patriots is a very interesting game. Obviously, it's going to be a set of powerhouse teams. I looked to that in the original as a win for the Patriots, but I will probably actually switch it up by saying that the Browns will probably win this, because Browns have always been a problem for the Patriots and Bill Belichick. And I will actually reverse this statement as well from the last video. At the Falcons, I believe the Patriots will win this one. Tennessee Titans is a either or for me, because the Tennessee Titans will be at the Patriots. The Titans have been the biggest problem to the Patriots for the last couple of years under Mike Vrabel's coaching. But I can see Patriots winning that one, but again, it could be a very close game as well. At the Buffalo Bills, I will look to that as being a loss, because the Bills are still a very high-power team right now, and it's a Monday Night Football game as well. Nonetheless, to say I don't really see the Patriots doing a lot to make sure that the Bills, get a loss at home. The next week is a bye week. Then at the Indianapolis Colts, I said this could also be a back and forth one, but I could say that the Patriots have a chance to win this one out. But we'll definitely see with Carson Wentz, I believe it's going to be Carson Wentz to start this game. That'd be a very interesting one, isn't it? Buffalo Bills at the Patriots. I don't see the Bills taking the sweep in the series again. I find any way that the Patriots can to try and win this one at home. So I'll look to the Patriots hopefully getting at least this one win against the Bills. Jacksonville Jaguars at the Patriots is going to be the very interesting one as well. Trevor Lawrence, Tim Tebow, their first meetup with Bill Belichick at the Patriots. And I'm going to stick with my prediction that the Patriots going to win this one, just because of how much I fully understand how Bill Belichick has a really great record against rookie quarterbacks. And then final, at the Miami Dolphins. That one can be also a back and forth game. Patriots always seem to have a weird set of losses at the Dolphins, but at the same time, I do believe that the Patriots should win this game. Ultimately, the final record, I believe, will either be like a 12-5 or maybe even like 11-6, trying to push for more of a playoff. They could do better, but at the same time, I do believe that the Bills are going to be another powerhouse team come next year, and it will probably be between the Bills and the Patriots again for the AFC East. So, with everything that I had mentioned, I say thank you again very much for watching my video. Drop a like if you liked what I had to say. Please leave something in the comments. I always try to respond to everyone's comments. And of course, hit that subscribe button for any more content that you would like from me on sports or anything else that I share on the channel. My name is Keb, and I'm here to drive you crazy. Aloha, God bless, and take care.